Alright there folks, welcome back to another match fishing adventures, and it's match day today and we're up at the Canal Lake at Redwood Park. And guess what? I'm on peg 8 again. It's the only peg I seem to draw up here. Same area that we did before in the really waterlogged match. And we didn't do too bad. And then I came up here, I think I've done another match in between then. And that was alright as well. So it's not a bad area. But one thing I have noticed is, before when I was catching a few fish and then I started getting snagged up, there's actually a big lily bed in front of me, and that's what I was fishing over. And that was such an amateur mistake, plumbing up. I just plumbed the depth. I didn't move my pole side to side to check for snags, and I'd avoided that. But it's something to learn for another day. But yeah, dead simple really. I've got 2 lines set up in the track, one at 10 o'clock. I'm going to feed red maggots and some red fjuka. I'm going to feed that by hand. I'm going to cup it in initially and then just feed it by hand until I see some movement. The right hand swim, I'm just going to feed purely with pellets. I'm going to tap in some micros, fish a pellet on the hook. I've got corn as a change bait. I've got a little bit of bread as well, just in case a bit of bread punch might work. I've got a couple of shallow rigs set up. I've got 1 jigger and 1 normal shallow rig, and if it gets really tight later on I can push that over to the far bank and see what's there. Difficult little margins really, but I've found a little area there to my left that I'm going to try a little bit later on, but hopefully it's going to be a warm day I think already. Sun's going to get out and hopefully those fish will come up, and if I can start getting a few F1s coming in short, feeding by hand, then I'm going to stay on that line really until it dies, and fingers crossed it won't. Yeah, right. Missing too many of them yet, so it's either dead small fish or they're just not quite liking how I've presented the bait, but we'll worry about that in a minute. So what I'm going to do is pop in some pellets over that line, not many, and I'm just going to leave it and see. What I'm going to do is drop onto that maggot line, double maggot. And just see what's there. So, what I'm going to do is, because there's no sign of any carpet yet, I'm just going to feed in a tiny little nugget of ground bait over the pellet line and see. Might even be worth going across here as well. I don't know. Lad down there's got a little roach now, so swap that over. For that, and I'm just not putting much of this in at all. It's literally like a little hazelnut sized lump. Fish pellet over the top and just see. Just a few small fish in there. It's annoying at the moment, very annoying. Getting a few indications, a bit of movement on the float, but no real positive bites. So little fish. And keep rafting some maggots in on that line and just see. Because I think they're going to come up shallow quite quick, really. The sun's coming out now, it's getting warmer. It's 10:30, so I might have a sneaky look at margin actually, just to see. So, what I'm going to do is just pop in a pellet over where I fed those maggots, because there's just been a swirl and I'm hoping it's an F1, so we'll see. It's got literally all the shot under the float on this one. I just want to drop it in just lightly. Yeah, they're coming up shallow there, but they're not on the not having the pellet around, are they? So, dropping onto this line, I've just fed a little bit of ground bait and some 4mm. See if anything's there now. Just keep trickling some maggots in on that line. And the odd pellet. Nice hide, that. No indications at all on there. Drop this in. Let's see, single maggot. That's better. Job. Not what we want, really. Not what we want. Not what we want, but at least we know there's a few fish there now, so I don't know what's going on here. Right then, so same again. Read a few. Got that rig in. Nice tight line. Oh, there we go. Oh, yep, he's on. Right, so everyone's catching carp and I'm catching freaking chub and hide. This is not good. I need this to be on. Pellet, really. This is not good. This is why I don't like maggots in a match. Because all you do is draw the crap fish in. Matthew's in again under there, he's plundering them now. So I might get the catty out and have a little look in a minute. Unless I can get them feeding on pellets on this line. So it's coming up to 11:05 and we've been fishing about an hour. Short of a little run there of a couple of chub and an hide. It's been diabolical, really. I'm getting a few indications on the pellet line to me right, but I'm just not hitting any of the bites on a 4mm pellet, so just come off that. Fed a bit of ground bait in there as well, just to see if that makes a bit of a difference, but whether it will or not, I don't know. It's going to be a long, hard day though if I can't get some carp going somewhere, so slightly better fish, but I need 10 of these for every one of Matthew's carp. So I'm going to go back in one more go and see, and then I'm going to go across, I think, with a bit of corn and just see. We'll rest this off completely. Until I can get them on the pellets, I guess. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go over there with some corn and tap in a few micros and see. So I say we've got a good feature in those lilies, so I think it makes sense to go over there and have a look. Get that smeg off the hook. So we'll see. See, there's still a few showing shallow there, but just seems like a nightmare. Yeah, some movement around those lilies as well. Didn't see that earlier. So we know there's been a few fish showing short on the maggot line, so I'm just going to put in a few 4mm over that line now. There's nothing doing over that right hand line. I want to keep a few maggots going in as well. To see. Skin bobs, but bigger than those eyed. So we'll go back in again, repeat the process and see. Right then, so it looks like I'm building this swim from scratch, which I don't mind. We can do that because they are slightly better fish out there, and that's the difference really. Still in there. Smack me right up. It's not off anywhere. Ah, yeah. Right, well, I think that must have been just a sole carp over there. I've had no indications, nothing since. So I'm going to come back and go on that short line, I think. Just fish shallow. Stupid little hide things, isn't it? Don't want them. Oh, give me a break here. Give me a break. Side. It's bad if they were like that, but they're not. Bit it out. Yeah, might get scrub on. Yeah, brilliant idea. Yeah, there was some better flashes down there then. put some ground bait into that margin and a few micros and that. I've got a funny feeling there might be some fish coming up a bit earlier than expected. So we'll keep an eye on that. What am I after? Maggot. And we'll see, because I need carp. I need some carp. There's no two ways about it, really. Getting a few eyed and they're not a bad stamp, but I do need something a bit bigger. So what I'm doing over there is just pinging in a few maggots and a few 4mm now as well, just to see if that makes a little bit of a difference. Still plenty of fish there. See, it's gone a bit quieter now there. And I don't know why. I don't know if they definitely came up to pellet then, so I wonder if there might be a couple of F1s in there now. Because that's what we want. We want the better, the nettable eyed and the F1s. No, there's some slightly better fish there as well, so it's just a matter now. I mean, we've had a good 3/4 of an hour getting a few eyed out, but it's just starting to slow a bit. So I may need to come off it and rest it a little bit, to be fair. I think there's something in there already. We'll see. They're the stamp we want. There we go. It's just nicely up against the shelf. There's a little kind of step and then it shelves right off, and I'm kind of plumbed up 3/4 of the way down there, because I figured any fish coming in are going to be, that's going to be about mouth level. So I've put in some loose ground bait and quite a bit of corn. Getting a few indications there straight away. It flows moving around a little bit, but I think that's just a roach or something in there. But oh, maybe not. Oh yeah. Right. That felt like a relatively decent fish actually. So I'm going to go back in. Let's see. Just for 2 minutes. They're shoving over on those lilies now as well. So. What we want. It's going to go right through that line now. But don't mind. So what I'll do is I'll refeed that and leave it a bit, and then do the same on this right hand margin as well, I think. Let's see. Right then. Oh, you bastard. That's our thing there, isn't it? Jesus Christ. Good job that's in its waterproof bloody cover. That is what we want. Right then. So that's a couple of pound. And he's out in the net, that's good. what I'm going to do is exactly the same down this right hand margin. So if they're coming in and cruising around, I want to stop them before they get to where Matthew is really. Right, I'm going to go drop back in on that margin, I think. Just want to see if there's another one there before I do anything else. I know there's a few across now showing in them lilies, so that's another plan. There's still plenty showing shallow. And there's been a few swirls now when I've been popping those pellets in, so hopefully there'll be a few in on them pellets. Yeah, it's a better fish. I don't know what it is. It's nodding its head anyway. Oh, big-eyed. Big-eyed. Ooh. Now then, is he going to come out? Is he going to oblige? Yes, he is. Chub. Fucking hell. He looks like he's been having a few maggots actually. He's spat a few out then. So right then, we'll go across the same again just to see, because I know there's been, let's say those pads have been moving. So I know there's some big roof fish in there. It's just a matter of tempting them out. So go back in, good pinch of micros again. Big swells in that margin now. Big swells in that margin. Big swirlies in there. It's a green. Right then. Right then. So. Right then. I'm going to come off there. This is quite a big pot going in there now. And I'm going to go back shallow. See if we can have a few eyed again, and then we'll pop back in under these margins and see. So 1:05, give this 5 minutes. There's a few moving along this margin now, so hopefully got a few traps set. I should try and nail a couple. Got the option as well of just putting it a little bit further down, adding another section. Just seeing. straight through my shallow line, but it doesn't really matter. Come on, dopey, get out, bloody Nora. There's a few fish wanting a feed now, so again I'm going to lay that rig in, tie it up to that shelf. And hopefully we'll bag another. Under my feet, these little bloody bleaky shite things. Seen an F1 today at all. I was convinced we'd have some today. Convinced of it. why it's known as that float setting, so I'm feeding via a port pot, just to push them down onto the deck. Whether there'll be a better stamp fish down there, I don't know. No, they're not. They're just not. Got me well snagged up, that has. Bloody hell. Is he still on? No, is he? No. Just see if we can. One over there. There was one sucking out the 8mm pellets that I'd blasted over there earlier. There we go. I don't know what that is, but chub. Oh, again. That's 2 or 3 looks I've had over there, and I almost got chub. Bloody hell. Fish that. Even smaller. What's going on? Supposed to be a big fish over there. Right then, have a cheeky look down this margin again. Let's see. And then decision time really. As to whether I want to spend the last little bit. better. I think. That's not what we're looking for, I think, anyway. A little bit of stocky in there. That's a little fishy. Going that net. He's a diddy, isn't he? He's a diddy. Right then, so that right hand side is churned up a bit now, so I'm going to drop in there, see what's lurking in there. Hopefully there'll be another carp, but we'll see. Right then, so I was just deciding what to do, and this fish decided it for me. Right, so that's shite, innit? So right, so that's getting churned up in there again down that right hand side. I'm going to bin the left hand side off. So we've got half hour left, haven't we? Even got that in place. And move into a fish. Bloody job again, fuck's sake. They'll eat anything, these will. But bigger than the ones I was getting down here. Fucking hell, even these are mocking me now. What's going on? Right then, folks. So I'm back. The car's emptied, and I've had a bit of a think really about what I did during the match on the way home. And as you saw, when I started, I set up two lines, both in the track. Left hand side with maggots, right hand side tapping in some micros and fishing a 4mm over the top. And that's the line that I started on. But the bites were so finicky. It makes me wonder if it were just purely small fish in there, or perhaps I wasn't presenting the bait as nicely as they wanted. I mean, I did make a few minor tweaks on the shotting to see if that made a difference, but it didn't really. And when I dropped onto the maggot line, it were just small tiny roach and hide, and that's basically all I've ended up catching all freaking day, other than a few carp out of the margin, but even them were small in comparison. So I've weighed in a mighty £17.4. That peg were worth probably £35–40 easy. I wouldn't have got all that out in silvers. Where I went majorly wrong is when I went in on the margins, there were fish there, and what I should have done is dropped in there on a more regular basis really. But again, I put corn down there, and they weren't really taking it. I tried a bunch of maggots, I tried a hard pellet, and nothing was seemingly getting consistent bites. And
So I was chopping and changing from that. I went back on the track. I wasted far too much time, and that's the reality of it, really. Maybe I should have gone across a little bit sooner, because the chub over there were quite a bit bigger. Although they'd have taken slightly longer to ship in and out, it might have paid off really in the long run if I could have got a big shoal there, and that might have brought those carp onto feed a bit earlier, because when I was pinging the 6mm pellets out, the carp were on them. They were sucking them out at rushes, so they were definitely there. I just couldn't get them. But again, whether that was a presentation issue or not, I don't know. But to be fair, I'm still really rusty with my match fishing, and that's just the reality of it. Is I've spent that many years not match fishing, and when I first set this channel up, it wasn't going to be a match fishing channel. It was just going to be a general fishing channel, and this is what I get up to kind of thing. But I'm competitive by nature, and I need that competition. I need to not only pit myself against the fish in the peg on that day, but I like the bit of banter that you get with the people either side of you and stuff like that. But there's still a ton of room for improvement. Do you know what I mean? And just learning the nuances of fish during a match, because you all get those quiet spells. You've got to work out as fast as possible which lines are going to produce, and when one dies, you've got to have a backup plan and drop on it straight away. And that's where I went wrong. I was second guessing myself pretty much all day. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've had a nice day catching the eyed and the chub, but I was praying that some F1s would take a bit of notice and come in, because if we were catching F1s that fast, I'd have probably won match. I mean, match we won with £67 something or £68 something, from right up at top end. Matthew next to me was catching on paste, and he had 3 or 4 F1s out straight away in first hour, and then he went dead for 2 hours. So if I could have replicated that, if I'd have maybe gone across, as I say, in that first part rather than starting off in the track, I could have nabbed a few early carp and then dropped onto that maggot line and topped it up with 2 hours solid divide before I went back on the carp. Maybe I should have done that, but hindsight is a wonderful thing. But anyway, I think the next match is a week today, and that is going to be up on the Lagoon Lake, and I really like that Lagoon Lake. It's a little bit different, a little bit quirky, and it kind of suits me a little bit better. So hopefully we'll get a result. If you've liked the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you all later. Cheers.
So if you've enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button. If you've still got time, check out these videos here. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up and leave a comment below as well. Cheers.